Shabbat Shalom Goyim. Spelled with an I or an E. Not sure. Hanukkah. It has a red dotted line under it no matter how I spell it. The mysteries of Hebrew. This is called a Hannakuh Story. And sit back, crack open some Manoshevitz, break out the gefilte fish, and chopped liver. I didn't know chopped liver was a Jewish thing. I suspected. Because I'm looking after my Jewish boss's special needs son. It's funny I have a Jewish boss. He's not really my boss, but he employs me. But I maintain some freedom. But I pretty much am a Shabbos goy. Which is hilarious. And I adore it. I love him. I'm philo-Semitic. I am not anti-Semitic. What I don't love is the religion. It's so gafunked how they, Jewish people, and have kept it as a race and a religion. And they use that as a shield. So we have religious protection rights laws. Well, what if this religion calls for the annihilation of everybody who's not a part of it, of the race, which is how many? 99.8% of the population. So here is the real story of Hanukkah. I got a bunch of crap up in the back of my car. I'm not living out of it. Well, don't judge me if it's a Mercedes station wagon. It's a little saggy. She's 22 years old. She's a classic. Okay, I'm live, so thought maybe a viewer would come on, but it doesn't show I have any viewers. But it does. I do have a thumbs up. So how can I get a thumbs up without anybody watching? I don't know. I'm sure I've been shadow banned to shit. They banned Adam Green's fourth attempt at a channel, and it wasn't under No More Religion. So I know I've got to be on the ADL's radar. As somebody came across, I'm getting to the story, but just let me kvetch for a little bit. Somebody on one of my astrology videos I did on here talking about the sign of Aries. And they're like, dude, this video is great. And you've been buried underneath a mound of schmutz. The Yiddish has some good words. You can't even hate on it. I mean, you can't hate on it. I don't know. Are we allowed to hate on the language for all the gurgling, for all the phlegm sounds that make up of it? That is a Semitic thing. Guess who's Semitic? Muslims. When the whole world was tricked into being Islamophobic, where was the ADL? Where was the shouts of anti-Semitism? It was lost. It was not in existence. Pop the top. Woo! Lily. Let us talk about the Hannakuh story. Let us talk about, we bitch about how I have no viewers. If I could just reach one person, then it's worth it. In today's news, before my beautiful Hannakuh story, I was over at my dad's house, who's 72, brilliant guy. Worked on Wall Street. Worked in World Trade Tower too, but before 9/11. And he's watched Adam's videos with me for a little bit before, and I talked to him about these matters. And he has come around full force. I mean, he's not crazy about it like I am and Adam. But we're not crazy about it. But it's crazy how nobody's talking about these things. That's the crazy thing. Or how we're not allowed to. Because it might prompt hate. Imagine this. Your government, let's just say Venezuela. Your government, I don't want to use Venezuela right now. Formaldehyde land doesn't want its citizens to gain power and to know about how the government deals, so it keeps them in the dark and it bans them from sharing information about how corrupt they are. And the reason that they give its citizens for banning their freedom of speech is that it might incite violence or hate. When the formaldehyde government also wants to control its population so it doesn't get so big. So they implement ways to keep them from regenerating. So it keeps the formaldehydians. That's a funny name. From sharing information about its eugenics process. And now they call it Planned Parenthood. And so the citizen is like, hey guys, I think we should get this information out that our government is fucking intentionally killing us off through covert means. And sorry, formaldehydian citizen, I'm afraid this information might incite anger. It should fucking incite anger. Violence. What the fuck is war? Violence. It's all right to incite violence when it's to go and carry out their fucking plans to go in and invade Iraq, Afghanistan. Still looking for those weapons of mass destruction. Oh, are they under here? And they fucking joke about it at their black tie events. Holy, may Saint Formaldehyde pray for us. Now, I'd like to take this. We got a viewer. Let's go into the Hannakuh story as we celebrate. It's our second night of Hanukkah. So go and light that candle, Shlomo, and let it sit around the table. And let me tell a little story about the origins of this most sacred festival of 8 holy nights in around 200 BC, 180 BC, around that time, I forget exactly, during the Seleucian Empire's, the Greeks, rule of Jerusalem, some of the members of the Jewish community there, who were treated just fine, actually. The Greeks treated them very well. They give them tax breaks, or just like they got tax breaks today, permission to trade. Even I think to user. This is before Christianity, but they're allowed to operate their temple just dandy. Well, some of the members of the temple, some of the Jewish community members, decided to participate in some of the reindeer games. Poor old Rudolph. Were allowed to participate. No, they went and played sports. We don't know from the account, which we get mostly from the book of Maccabees, from which isn't included in the Jewish scriptures, but is kept alive weirdly in the Roman. Not weirdly, actually. I could go into why it's in the Roman canon, but it's in the Catholic Bible. And this account that if you just read through it and you're like, oh my, this is what happened. Some of the members of the temple or of the Jewish community played some sports, which was a Greek thing to do, not a Jewish thing to do. Was not much of it. Now you're just allowed to own the sports teams and to be the commissioners, but you don't see them really playing the sports these days. Although they did have Sandy Koufax. And so the members of the temple were so irate that the Jewish people there would do such a thing like play sports, like the Goyim. So they murdered them. And then these religious zealots of the temple were in such a religious fervent, caught up in the Shekinah spirit, and went out and started ravaging the Greek cities, killing and ravishing, murdering Greeks just living and doing their thing. And then I think this went on for 4 years almost. At least that's what it was, probably less. And then the Greek emperor at the time, ruler Bacchus, puts together an army, squashes them. Didn't even raise the temple. That didn't happen until Roman rule took over 180 to 200 years later. No, a little less than that. So that's the story of fucking Hanukkah. That's the actual factual fucking history, not the lamp in the temple being lit for 8 days, even though it only had enough oil for one. So the desecration of the temple wasn't even done by a Greek. It was by their own Jewish people. And how did they desecrate it? By playing fucking sports. Like the goy. They probably sucked at it anyway. Like, why won't you pass me the ball? So, that's my Hannakuh story. Shlomo, I'll go get the dreidel. It really is a gambling game. Oh, man. When are we going to wake up to the fuckery? And then, Christianity. Judaism for the goy. And then to see an anti-Semite, or anywhere anti-Semite is fucking dumb. Because obviously, not every Semite is against assimilating. But they really do. Many get it instilled in them. And I know this from being close with them, that you might look like these other white people, Europeaners, who make up 8% of the fucking world's population, my friend. Do you know that? White people only make up 8% of the world population. Oh, why am I saying maybe 18? Either way, let's say 18%. If they got the other side to gang up through anti-white narrative and media, white people can get rounded up and fucking extinguished. And is that just somewhat a crazy thought? Well, it's in the fucking founding scriptures of Judaism and Christianity. They worship, they practice a faith that wants to wipe them off the face of the fucking earth. I need a cigarette. This is depressing. Everybody in the chat, say hey. You know, lots of these videos are really just therapeutic for me. But at least I do have my dad to talk to about these things occasionally. And that's pretty much it. My friends don't like to hear about it because it makes them uncomfortable. They'd rather talk about sports. And I mean, for a while I was like, oh my god, sports is, and I still do, like, it's totally used to make us docile and distract us. All that energy, that virility, life force, and passion that we expound on sports, if we were to direct that towards, I don't know, not getting fucking put into slavery or annihilated, they would be in trouble. Good God Almighty. Now, You know, in Israel and around the rest of the world, they don't even really celebrate Hanukkah. It's not a big festival at all. But in America, it is. Why? Because in America, Christmas is a big thing. And so that would be a temptation for the Jewish to assimilate, which is the worst fear of the practicing religious, but more fervent Jewish, the rabbis, leaders. So that's why Hanukkah is pretty much an American Jewish thing. It's for the simple fact to not have that temptation for the Jewish people to want to do any goy activity. Thanksgiving's one especially, but they haven't really come up with something to match Thanksgiving. Maybe they'll come up with another time where they wiped out, killed some Gentiles. How's the weight movement world doing? Any chats? I smoked for 5 years. I do miss it. Levi, don't go back. Oh, Goodman Brown, sparks up. Pray for us. Yeah, we came up with, what name did we come up with? The Formaldehydes. Oh, Formaldehydes unite! I'm trying to preserve our fucking people. Even Albert Mashai is not white. It's Egyptian. It would be like Middle Eastern. Like not. He is very well that there's a target on white people's backs. But oh yeah, especially white Christians. No, Christians are duped. They've abandoned Christianity as successfully had us abandon our culture, our heritage of our people, and taken on theirs, worshiping their God, worshiping their fictitious character they made up with as our God. And instead of the god of Ares, of war, of a man being fucking strong, of Athena as a warrior princess, we have the behold, I am the handmaid of the Lord, Virgin Mary, virgin, because they want us to be the women to remain virgins unless they mate with them, and which they're actually allowed to take the virgins for themselves. But to rip the infant suckling from its mother's breast, smash the baby's head against the rocks, and kill the infants, the old and the everybody, but leave save the virgins for yourselves. This is in the fucking Bible. You don't even have to go to the Mishnah or the Talmud to find out these glorious passages. That's in the fucking Old Testament. Imagine if one of us goy actually learned Hebrew, and we'll go through the Hebrew texts. One actual Jewish person did get hip to this and felt fucking bad about it and went through the Talmud and fucking translated lots of it, where we find that uh, some really horrible passages. All right, lovers, that's going to be it for today. Love ya.